Have you ever wondered what's really going on inside a Bitcoin transaction? Beyond just sending and receiving? There's this whole hidden world of code that handles security, sets timers, and even, get this, creates new Bitcoin out of thin air. Today, we're going to take a backstage tour to see exactly how it all works. So, let's dive right in.
Right, so every Bitcoin transaction has a front door, you could say. You've got the inputs, where the money comes from, and the outputs, where it's going. It seems simple enough, but the real power, the true genius of the system, isn't right there on the surface. Nope, it's kind of hidden away in the transaction's code, in a few clever fields we don't often talk about.
Okay, first stop, we're looking for the proof. It's called the witness stack. I want you to think of it like the bibliography or the signed affidavits for a transaction. It's all the evidence that proves this transaction is legit and has the right to spend the Bitcoin it says it does.
And what's so brilliant about this is how efficient it is. A transaction doesn't have to waste space saying, hey, I have 3 pieces of evidence. The network just knows. If you've got 3 inputs, you've got 3 witness stacks. Simple as that. One for each input, and each one holds that all-important proof of ownership, the digital signature.
You can actually see Bitcoin's evolution right here. On the left, you have these older legacy inputs, where that witness stack is just empty. But on the right, you've got the modern SegWit transactions, which do something absolutely ingenious. They take all that bulky authorization data and they move it out of the main transaction body and neatly tuck it into the witness stack. This was a total game changer for making the network more efficient and secure.
All right, next up is a feature that basically acts like a programmable timer. It's called the lock time field, and this is what takes Bitcoin from being just simple digital cash and turns it into something much more powerful, kind of like a post-dated check or a time-locked safe.
And let's be really clear here. This isn't just a friendly suggestion. It is a hard rule that's baked right into the code. Miners literally cannot add a transaction to the blockchain until its lock time has been reached. This one simple rule is the foundation for all kinds of cool, programmable financial contracts.
So, how does it work? Well, the network uses a really straightforward system. If the value is 0, that means go ahead, process it immediately. If it's a number under 500 million, the network reads that as a block number and just waits for that block to be mined. And if it's a number over 500 million, well, that's interpreted as a specific future date and time, a Unix timestamp, and it won't unlock until that very moment has passed.
Our final stop on this tour isn't just another hidden field. It's a completely different species of transaction. This is the coin-based transaction. It's the very first one you'll find in every single block, and it's the one that literally creates new money.
Now, let's be crystal clear about something. This has absolutely nothing to do with the company called Coinbase. A Coinbase transaction is a fundamental part of the Bitcoin protocol itself. It's how miners get paid for their work. They create this special transaction to collect all the little fees from every other transaction in the block, plus that all-important block subsidy, which is the brand new Bitcoin being born.
And you can see the differences are pretty fundamental. A regular transaction has to point to existing funds, right? But a Coinbase transaction, it has this unique special null input. It points to absolutely nothing. And that's the magic trick. That's what lets it mint fresh Bitcoin from thin air, creating value that just didn't exist a moment before.
And because it has this incredible power, it has to follow some very, very strict rules. That input has to be a specific kind of blank slate. The field where a signature would normally go is repurposed, letting miners leave a little note if they want. But the most important rule of all, the amount of new Bitcoin it creates cannot be 1 Satoshi more than the official block reward. This is the mechanism, the very heart of the system, that guarantees Bitcoin's predictable and finite supply.
And here's another key rule for you. That new Bitcoin, it can't be spent right away. It's considered immature, and it has to wait for 100 more blocks to be mined before it can be used. That's roughly 16 or 17 hours. This maturity rule adds a layer of stability to the network, and it stops miners from immediately spending rewards from a block that might, just might, get kicked off the main chain. Okay, so we've gone pretty deep into some technical corners of the code here. I get it. But why does any of this stuff really matter? Let's zoom back out and see how these pieces fit into the big picture. So that witness stack, it's so much more than just a storage space for data. By separating out the proof of ownership, it made transactions lighter, faster, and it paved the way for some of the most critical upgrades the network has ever seen. It keeps Bitcoin evolving. And then you've got lock time.
That simple little field transforms Bitcoin from just being static digital cash into true programmable money. It's the fundamental building block for everything from simple future payments to way more complex financial agreements, what we call smart contracts.
And finally, the coin-based transaction. This thing is literally the heartbeat of Bitcoin's entire economic model. Its super strict rules control the creation of every single new coin, and that ensures a predictable, transparent, and ultimately finite supply of money. And that is one of Bitcoin's most defining features.
So you see, these hidden components, they're really the engine room of the whole Bitcoin system. They prove that Bitcoin was designed with a future in mind, with all this powerful potential built right into its DNA from day one. It really makes you wonder, what else is hiding in that code, just waiting for us to unlock?